Hello again, friends, and you are my friends, and welcome back to your full-time show with me, your host, Martin, aka the landlord of the virtual pub. Let's all pile in from the terraces after another comfortable home win, this time against Crewe Alexandra. 1-0 the result. I see Witty asking what was the score. It was 1-0. I will be, of course, joined, as always, as I was earlier, by Rob and by Amy when they've just got themselves back in from the ground. As always, this show is in association with Best Burger Stone Market, consistently high-quality burgers at great prices as quickly as possible. Just find them at the Queen's Head Stone Market. So, a 1-0 victory. Town back, top of the table, but it wasn't comfortable, let's be honest. It wasn't as easy as it could have been for some people. I don't know. We want to hear from you. Get yourself active in the chat section on YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook, or, of course, get yourself on the show. There is a link just being dropped into the chat right this minute. Click it, get yourself on, have your say, because this is your time to speak. Boris Johnson has delayed this evening's press conference to 6:30. Why? He's a matchday ticket fan, of course. He'll be tuning in, I'm sure, from the corridors of Downing Street, Robbie D, to see what you're going to say and the people at home about the mighty and the fine Super Blues. So what did you make of today's 1-0 win?
Well, we got the job done. Always had confidence that Ollie Hawkins would find the net, of course. You know, chance after chance, he was creating, he was linking up the play well, said nobody at half-time. Yeah, we got, I did say at half-time, that's what you want. You put a ball in like that, he's favourite to win headers like that for me. And so it proved. Well, ultimately, we got the job done, but I thought we were outplayed. But I think Crewe, for whatever reason, had a few minutes there where they sort of seemed to stand off us a bit and let us win a few corners, put a few balls in the box. And actually, we were quite clinical in the chance we had. Really, we didn't have chance after chance, did we? As usual, when we then brought on Bennett, so we brought on Lancaster, there was a few half openings where we weren't clinical enough in the final ball, we didn't create any chances from it, but we wasted the chance to create a chance.
Yes.
So we could have maybe nicked a second, but it would have been unfair on them. It was probably a draw game. But we got the job done.
Absolutely.
Done. We're top of the league. I was saying earlier that all the other teams need to win.
My mistake. We're not quite top. We're not quite top. We're second.
Level. Are we not
level
top?
It's a goal. Yeah, we're level top, but it's a goal.
So we're above us, right?
Yes, by one goal. The thing is, though, at half-time, we were talking about Ollie Hawkins. Obviously, he watched the show from the dressing room. We know players have phones, courtesy of Jose Mourinho. And we said, look, if he gets a run on you as a defender, you're going to get beat. He's tall. And from a corner, you fully expect, because the defender's got to start from a position of by his own goal, you're going to get that run on him. And he did. Outside of the set piece and the goal, he didn't offer a lot, let's be honest. When he went off and Jackson come on, did you really think, missing Hawkins here?
No, because the thing is that Jackson down the middle on his own, he also needs support in the same way, really. He's not there. He can play that game down the middle, but he's not going to that's not going to fire us to promotion. That he needs someone around him. He needs someone to be playing in a two. Whatever. I mean, that game isn't his either. And actually, to be honest, you saw that in the time he came on. He was saying he would run the channels better. He did no more than Hawkins, despite the fact he was quicker on his feet, quicker on the run, quicker on the chase down. But did he get more progressive possession back from it? No. Didn't hold the ball up any better than Hawkins at all. But we know Jackson's a way better player than that. But you've also got to find the system. That's why I said, and I still stand by it, that wherever you think of Hawkins, if it's a 1, he probably plays. If it's a 2, he plays with someone, because that's where we are.
Yeah, absolutely. Cruncher says we need big improvement for Tuesday when we go to Sunderland. Vodka Red Bill, lovely name. Awful. We hated Portman and McCarthy are back to square one.
Back to square one, a league below.
Dominic Mann, I think we should take this as a learning experience and use the fire Crewe showed and emulate that going forward. On Facebook, Mark Dowling. We got lucky today, very lucky. But hey, Lambert can't ask any more from the lads. Man of the match was McGuinness. Guys, Boris Johnson this evening is giving a press conference at 6:30. Let's talk about Town. Let's forget about the outside world just for tonight, just for this moment, and let's talk about Ipswich Town. 1-0 win. Let's bring in Tractor Girl, Amy Downs. Mark on Facebook, Amy, says we can't ask for any more. What do you think following today's win?
Yeah, totally with him. We're clean sheet, a goal from a striker. What more do we want? And I get it. It was a hard game, but I think we need to give, like I said at half time, I think we need to give Crewe Alexander a little bit more respect and be slightly less arrogant.
Absolutely.
And I think we need to take it as, do you know what? It's these games that when we get to the end of the season and we look back, we're going to be like, yeah, that's the hard graft. Like, if we're there, this will be the game where we're thinking, yeah, do you know what? We could have easily lost that, and we didn't. So apologies for my late arrival. I would normally have probably been in the bar getting a drink, but I was still watching the game. I was on a massive delay.
It's okay. It's no problem at all. Loft says hello, Amy, with a rose. JT, vital saves from Holy, decent defending. Yeah, let's bring some positives out of today's game while we wait for those that may want to get involved. Use the link in the chat that I've just posted if you do want to get yourself on the show. Hello, darling.
Sorry.
McGuinness and Wolfenden. Talk to me about McGuinness and Wolfenden.
I thought McGuinness was outstanding, really, in his own way. I know it's only a home game against Crewe in the third division and whatnot, but I thought for him that was a real steady, solid performance straight on from Tuesday night. Did the same things right. He looks like a real good defender. I'm pleased for him because it took a while for him to get in. I think a few of us were probably thinking if the winning streak continued, would we see him at all? Would he start a game? There was talk of that, but I feel 10 times more comfortable, I have to say, with those two at the back. Wolfenden is solid. I think he reads the game well. I'm never sure about Wolfenden in a physical 1-on-1 versus 1 defending, but he reads the game and intercepts things well. He can play with the ball, and I think you have to say that you don't feel like there was a couple of times in there in the second half where McGuinness had a player right up against him, 1-on-1, turning him. Exactly the kind where you stick a leg out, you give away a penalty. Twice in 10 seconds he could have done. And I have to say, if you'd stood Enciala up in that way and Nick passed him twice, there's a fair chance he'd have brought you down. Whereas McGuinness had the intelligence to not leave a leg dangling, not lean on someone's back. He's a good player. I'm pleased for him because it's benefited us. We saw that out and they piled on the pressure. And we saw it out without too many panic moments, I didn't think.
Very composed for two lads.
Calm and composed centre halves, and that is good because the fullbacks are very experienced, not perfect, not always that quick, but they're experienced, and the two centre halves look experienced despite the fact they are.
Yeah, Amy. Obviously, the whole back four deserve credit, really, don't they? Because they played, as Rob said, very composed performance.
I called it at the beginning of the game that when the squad was announced, when the team was announced, that was the first thing that drew my eye was that back four. How beautiful is that back four? It's just reliable. I can trust it. Whereas 2 years ago, we were covering our eyes at the thought of this defence going up against the Championship, and to be fair, even 12 months ago. Well, no, mind you, we were doing all right this time last year, weren't we? But I just feel safe with them. I feel happy with them. And actually, as much as Enciala has gone some way to proving a lot of us wrong this season, with his name not there, I feel a lot more confident.
Well, no, that's a fair comment. I think Enciala is your number 3 centre-half, Rob, isn't he? He's going to come in, perform well, a bit like James Wilson, and then he's going to be a drop-off in play because he's not a consistent number 1, unlike McGuinness and Wolfenden so far, who... I mean, some of the balls out of defence and the stepping into midfield is just something that we've just rarely seen at Portman Road for a while.
They both look like modern centre halves, don't they? They both look like the young modern centre half. Can they look a bit like sort of following in the footsteps of like Adam Webster style? I mean, obviously, I have to say I wasn't that keen on him as his basic defending when he played for us. But you look where he is now. He's an established Premier League defender and. He went up the chain with us as a stepping stone and fair play to him. But I think they're both sort of out of that mould. We'll see where they get to. But I mean, I feel a lot more comfortable with them there. I think both Enciala and Wilson probably are fine in a game where there's not a lot of pressure on them. There's no one backing in. There's no one trying to turn them. When it's just someone playing in front of you and there's the occasional ball in the box, they can win headers. No problem, either of them. But I do worry about them in a big game. If we were to play one of them in a game against Hull, Peterborough, Sunderland, one of that top bunch, I'd be concerned.
Okay.
There you go.
Peter, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for clicking the link. It's that easy. What do you think of today's game? 1-0 win over Crewe. What were your thoughts?
Well, it's a win, and that's all we can say, really. Yeah, I mean, you've got to, as you said, you've got to really try. I'm not trying not to come on here and say the same old things, but they've got to have a bit of positive. We now somehow got 7 wins from the first 10 games. I mean, that's fantastic. You know, there is a bit of deja vu. Perhaps the ghosts of last season are there, but no, we're doing all right. I mean, Ollie Hawkins got a goal. How? But he got it.
He did, yeah. He broke his duct, and this is a goal that maybe can give him some confidence, Peter.
Hopefully, strikers need to score a goal. You said it yourself, Mr. Landlord, as you are known as today.
Yes, no, I'm old-fashioned. I want strikers to score goals. I don't mind how they score off their backside, off their shins, off whatever piece of their body they want to score from.
Anatomy, yeah.
Absolutely, that's the word I was looking for. They can do it, and he got it. And hopefully now we can see a different player. Alan Judge is not getting a lot of love tonight, Peter, in the chat. And I'll ask the three of you this question, and I'll start with you, Peter. Alan Judge, what is manager seeing in him that maybe the fans aren't seeing, and would you continue to play him?
To answer the first question, no, we wouldn't play him. He's anonymous. I've already done the ghost pun, so I can't say that again. But he's completely disappearing from the game. Now he's trying to be here, there, and everywhere, but absolutely no. He's no good to us. Yeah.
Who would you start instead of him? Bennett, Dobra, Lancaster. Who would you like to see in that number 10 role behind the centre forward, whoever that may be?
I personally would give Lancaster. It cost Lancaster as our player. I would give him a go in that position above Bennett's. You know, but perhaps moving on to Sunderland on Tuesday night, do we need the more pacier Bennett's in now? I don't know. But big game Tuesday.
Yeah, Amy, you were almost praising Judge before the game. You were almost the only person on the Alan Judge side, if you like. You were putting forward the defence for Judge. Are you still in that camp? Did you come away today feeling disappointed, elated? How did you feel he played today?
Feel a bit like I feel about Judge, but pretty much the same way as I do about Jeremy Corbyn this week. I want to take time to absorb and work out what's gone on.
That's a bold statement, if ever I've heard one.
I do like my bold statement. I think that he. So Peter, you just said, and then the comment that Martin just put up on the screen as well was he was all over the place, and I agree with that. And I don't Judge must have run 10 miles. I don't personally see that as a bad thing. Like the fact that the player's all over the place and trying to influence play. But I also feel like I'm almost defending him because I like him. And like I said to you before, I've got this I'm giving him a lot of leniency because I like him as a player, and I do appreciate that. And I do appreciate that he is going to reach a point where he's got to start having more of an impact. In terms of who I would swap him for, what about Jackson? We were saying that Hawkins needs someone delivering the ball. Could Jackson not do that behind Hawkins?
Rob?
Well, I would. I'm still of the opinion that we should play out 2 up front because Hawkins is massively isolated. So, of course, in that situation, you wouldn't have Jackson behind. Sorry, Amy, but
no, I agree. I'd much rather have them both up front, definitely.
to say about Judge, I mean, I don't know. I do think that Jeremy Corbyn might have created more chances today. But the thing is with Judge, I think he always drops to the ball. He's always available for that pass, isn't he? He's always available. He does cover some ground, but that's not my problem with him. My problem with him is he doesn't do anything with the ball. He's very sort of Nolan-like, isn't he? Sideways and backwards and simple passes. I can do simple passes. You pay me his wage, I'll sit in the midfield and just pass it square. No worries, mate. I'll do that for 15 years. Job done.
Yeah.
What's the point of either of them? No, I want to see more from both of them. Really, and this goes for Nolan as well. Once he's back from his soppy red card, I just think that neither of them really, since they've come to the club, I'm going to go as far as saying, have performed week in, week out for 5, 6, 10 games, and that is part of the reason we find ourselves where we are because they're 2 investments in experienced players the club's made. Probably fairly expensive players, I would imagine. And they've not worked, have they? Not worked. They've both been here, 18 months, 2 years, and here we are. We're still where we didn't want to be. So I think we need to see more players from players like that. We need to run games like today. Instead, we got ran, but we took the chance when it came. We took the chance of the game when it came.
Yeah, and we spoke off air, didn't we, Rob, about Alan Judge? And at times he was dropping deep alongside Andre to collect the ball and sort of get things going. That's not where you want Alan Judge, is it? You were saying off air, you don't want to play both in that position or that role, do you?
You don't want Judge as your CDM, do you? We might have. I mean, Judge and Dazelle as your two CDMs. Dazelle is a playmaker. He can do a little disguise ball, and as me and Martin said as well, half the time our own players don't read it because it's that disguise.
Yeah,
it's MI6 disguise, that isn't it? I mean, sometimes he thinks on another level to perhaps what the rest of the team does, Dazelle. And I just don't see what is needed for a Judge in there. I would have Judge as a squad player. He can come off the bench and change a game, unlock the door perhaps from time to time. But
do you think he can though?
Yeah, I think he can. He's the kind of player that might add something different.
He's not like your young legs add a bit of energy player, is he?
He's not going to run past anyone. We all know that. He's not bringing Danny Haynes off the bench, is it? We all know what he's like. But he might be able to put one ball in the box where we've had a game where no one has done so. But I would. There's no place for him in the team, I don't think. And to be honest, I struggle to find a place for Nolan as well. I've said before I would go to 4-4-2, put two up front. I think I would have Bishop as my midfielder attacking, but I would do it from a 2.
Yeah,
that's a fair point there, Rob. But I can't think off the top of my head when Judge has actually done that for us, when he's been in that position of coming off the bench, mate.
No, you're probably right, but I just think there's as much chance of him doing it come off the bench as there is him doing it from the start. So why would you waste the start on him?
Yeah.
Why would you waste 90, perhaps 75? He always ends up coming off anyway, doesn't he? He didn't today. That's a bad example. But generally, he's always one of the first subs, isn't he? Because he hasn't done it. So why would you waste 90 minutes?
Just going to bring Ben into this conversation because it's Alan Judge and it's also Freddie Sears, two senior players. And I know Ben has a lot of feeling and warmth about these two players. Particularly Sears. Where do you stand on Alan Judge before we move on to Freddie Sears, Ben? Did you feel he had a good game today? Do you want to see more of him? Do you want to see less of him? What do you want to...
I think it's already been said, really. I don't really know what I can add that's different. I think Judge is a squad player. I think that's the best assessment I can give of him. And now that, so many injuries we have, he is now probably playing more games than his form deserves. He just seems a bit like a headless chicken, really. I just think it's like he's lost, like he's broken. I'm not sure if there's something mentally going on, that he's just lost his confidence, but he just seems to be there filling a space. And I said something very similar the last game with Freddie Sears, and I would probably argue that the same things happen again. Freddie Sears is the analogy I gave, that kind of the Ford Fiesta sitting on your drive. It's going to run. It's going to get you from A to B, but it's not really going to do anything more than that, is it? And I think that was
Sally Gunner, wasn't it? Good runner.
This is why he's in the team. He runs all the time. He always tries, and he's never not done that. But perhaps at the level we're at, that's as probably good as we can have in there. But the point I want to make today, actually, because usually you say, who is the man of the match? I'll actually give it to two people, and I think Wolfenden and McGuinness today were, as a pair, fantastic.
Max and Paddy.
Not everyone might agree with me, but I thought Wolfenden was calm. I thought he always looked up before he put the ball forward. He actually ran forward towards the halfway line, actually trying to do some penetrating runs. I thought that was really good, and I think he's actually complemented really well by his by McGuinness, by his partner, and I think he's done really well. Also, another good game, and I say it again, Chambers. You didn't notice him do anything wrong. Didn't notice him doing anything world-beating, but he was solid and quietly dependable, which is exactly what I've said the last two games. Quietly dependable.
I would add Ward in that as well, Ben.
Yeah, I thought that as well.
Yeah, Ward as well. Yeah, absolutely. I'd agree. And I think there's a lot to be said in this division, and I think the place where we're in, we're all looking for that. Is Bennett going to come on and set the world alight? Who's going to come on and change the game? There's a lot to be said for quiet dependability. I think it's a really important thing to have this season. And for me, I think Chambers has actually been a really good example of that. And I think another one who could do it, if he gets the games, is Wolfenden. I think he's just absolutely class. Maybe because I'm a fan, I'm seeing it more than other people. I really like that guy. I really do. He's good, and we're lucky to have him.
Absolutely, yeah. And obviously, Ben says he's man of the match there. Peter, if I could ask you for your man of the match, and different to what Ben's already mentioned, does anybody stand out from today's 11?
No, I think if I was going to give a man of the match, that'd be one of the back four. I don't know if I quite agree with the Cruncher's comment of Holy, but he done his job. Was he a bit lucky with that save in the first half? He's a big guy. He's spreading himself out and
big wingspan.
Yeah, he gets the job done. He used his dimension, so to say.
Yeah. Peter Schmeichel done that for years.
Well, he made a career out of it, didn't he? Well, of course.
Yeah, no comparison.
How good was it though, guys? Seeing Bishop fit, making tackles, making runs, covering ground, because he covered some ground today, did old Teddy. Him staying fit is almost the key for us, isn't it? Because he can offer something that you would hope other players like Alan Judge could offer.
Nobody else scores that goal on Tuesday night, do they?
No. Not presently in our side, no.
No, and that's the issue, isn't it? When we come up against teams like Crewe, Amy, we haven't got enough of those type of players. We're playing a midfield three, and not enough of them have that type of ability like Teddy.
We've said it a few times, haven't we? Without Downs this year, is this his chance now to really let it be his turn to be the one of our own that's standing out finally, because he's lovely to watch, isn't he? He's just I just really enjoy how competent and confident he is actually as well. And I do think that maybe, a few months ago we were all petrified that Downs was going to leave, but maybe, just maybe, Bishop is the key to this year. I think you're right.
You know what? I totally agree with that. That's a really good observation, and I think Bishop is overlooked by the kind of the wowness of Downs. Everyone loves Downs. In the future, could he go for millions? Downs. Downs is a really good player, but I would put. I mean, I'm probably going to get slaughtered for this, but from what I see, I think Bishop's right up there with him in terms of ability.
Agreed.
Bishop's problem is that he can't stay fit. So now he's actually, because I called it last week. I think he came off injured or got injured after the game. So we all thought, okay,
Tuesday he did. Yeah, he came off.
That's him gone for 3 months. He stayed fit.
Well, you did.
It's like I'm going to keep doing this bingo, because the more I do it, the less players seem to get injured. So I'm going to have to keep this up every week now.
You are. Yes, you are.
We're seeing his quality because he keeps on playing. He's staying fit. He's getting sharper. He's getting better. And Amy, exactly what you said. I think he was a joy to watch today. It wasn't well beating or spectacular, but it was really good for League One. Direct. He kept the ball. He was asking for the ball. You watch him off the ball. He's doing this all the time. He's doing this. He's putting it in speed. Great.
Which is what you want to see.
Perfect midfielder, isn't he? Perfect midfielder, because he's there defending. He's there going forward. He's just always busy and always useful.
Yeah.
Mine, you see in the chat there, someone put down, Will Frost put Downs, Bishop, Dazelle in the midfield three. You can, I don't know how you click on that.
Yes, I can. There you go.
How good would that be? How good would that be for our academy right there?
Well, that would be both good for the academy, but also good for Andre, because I think Andre is the one player that is suffering the most from missing Flynn Downs, because Flynn Downs would do all the nitty gritty. I want to call it grunt work, but that's being not in the right context, because it is still stuff that's vitally important. Andre is asked to do that CDM role while also trying to thread the ball and collect the ball. Whereas if you had Downs with him, just making the tackles, being the work rate, being the energy, it would take so much pressure off him. So he's the one player for me missing Downs, but that midfield three of Downs, Bishop, and Andre.
There's no one in there that makes a tackle in the midfield these days, is there? Without Downs, you can't replace Downs. There's nobody in the squad that replaces Downs in that job. Not even Scouse makes tackles in the same way. Scouse read the game. But Downs is that one that will go in there and bring someone down if he's through on goal and take the booking. That's Downs.
Yeah. If you look at every midfield, every top midfield, every top club, you've always got that lovely finesse, creative player, but next to him is always that firefighter. Every club has got that firefighter that's going on the pitch fighting. Yeah.
what you're talking about is complementary players, and a great example of that, the classic one, is strikers. You have the big lump, the Hawkins, and then you have the the speed demon, someone like Jackson, little and large,
big man, small man, yeah.
And it's the complementary, and I think this in defence as well. And I would say we've mentioned Holy today.
Oh.
Have you cut him off because he mentioned Holy? That's harsh, mate.
I didn't cut him off. I mentioned Holy. That wasn't my doing.
You got to say password Biakowski to get on the show.
That's not true. But
I think just made a comment. Holy looked good today.
I didn't do anything.
It's got to stop it.
I didn't do anything. It's the ghost of Bart. It's the ghost of Bart. Ben, we love you. Come
what
back.
What happened to them today?
I do not know. But looking ahead to Tuesday. Looking ahead to Tuesday, big game. Sunderland. They're making small strides up the table. They're now sitting in 6th. They've lost one of their last 5. It's a big game. What do we feel? Same 11, different 11? Well, different changes. What would we do? We'll start with Rob and we'll go to Peter, then Amy. What would you do Tuesday, Rob?
I want to see us go and win away at one of these teams. Jesus Christ. Every time we play them, we get rolled over 1-0 or something. Just for a start, don't get beat, but go to win the game. Go with 2 strikers. Come on.
So you're going to go with 2 strikers?
Go with 4-4-2. And let's be on the upper foot. Let's not worry about Sunderland. Crewe did not worry about Ipswich today.
No. Okay, so talk me through your midfield 4. Who are your 4?
All on the spot as well. I think you've got to have... where are we up to with Nolan's suspension? Is he suspended for 3?
Yes. Last game Tuesday.
Okay, so... I'm going to go Bishop and Dazelle. That's a risky centre 2, isn't it? But I'm going for it. Those 2 in there. Grewe and Edwards, I'm going to go Bennett. 1 each side. Pacey wingers. Obviously, needless to say, I mean, up front, who would you go for? If Jackson's fit enough for the bench, he's fit enough to start, so I'm going Jackson and Hawkins.
Yeah, I like that. Peter, what do you think?
Dearly, as Rob just said, Dearly would love us to have the big away win at one of the potential, promotion favourites. I would take a draw, but I mean, I would love to see 2 up front, but as Amy said, Lambert isn't going to do it. For love or money, he's not going to do it. So I would go for the draw, sit on the fence.
Same 11 as today?
No, I like what Rob said, perhaps dropping Judge and having Bennett's in there, so have a bit of a pace on the wings there. But, if you haven't got anybody up front, you can have as much pace as you like.
Absolutely. And Amy?
Agree with what everyone said. I just don't think Lambert will change from 1 up front. So with that in mind, I would maybe change Judge, because you guys have definitely tipped me over the fence on him today. I'm not sure. Maybe Lancaster. I really don't know who I would replace Judge with.
The prosecution rests its case.
Yeah, well, exactly. So he's disappointed me this week. Let's just say that he's been sent to his room to play with his trains, as my eldest has.
Could Dobra come into that Judge role? Do you think? Could Dobra come in there? I don't think he will. In the same way, I don't think Lambert won't change from 1 up front. But he could. I think Dobra could go in there.
Louis Sharp thinks he wants
to. It's too drastic a change, isn't it? Lambert is not going to go for a major change. He doesn't do drastic
after last season, does he?
Yeah, no way for a change.
Louis Sharp says it should be our statement game, a nice 3-0 win. Malcolm Thompson says, Rob well said, we should go and attack Sunderland, tell everyone we are Ipswich in capital letters. Ben, welcome back. Don't mention Holy, otherwise
don't mention the H word. Don't mention the H word.
No.
That was my wife calling me. I've literally sent a message saying, "Don't contact me for 5 minutes." I was picking up Holy. So just on what you're talking about now, Sunderland, totally agree. Go there, 2 up front and attack. There's a lot of pressure on this game. A lot of pressure. We've now lost against 2 top 6 sides. If we lose against another one, that's a problem. That's a rot that's going to set in. Stake your claim right now, because you're not going to get many more chances. Do it now. And if we win on the weekend and this national lockdown comes in, if they end the season, at least we can guarantee we're going to be up here in the top 2. So let's go there and win.
Champions.
Absolutely. Just to follow up on what we said before, I was going to say I would probably, instead of Dobra, I would play Bishop in that number 10, like the comments just said. But you can then play Hughes and Dazelle. I just don't know about Hughes' first touch. Reminds me of yours, Martin. It's just like it screams off in 4 or 5 yards every time, doesn't it? It just, I don't know if he doesn't protect the ball for me. If there's pressure around the midfield and someone's really pressing you, he's not the man for it. But
if you're not happy with Judge, you cannot be happy with Hughes. He's done even less than Judge. I don't see how anybody can argue for him instead.
Fair point.
I think Hughes is a little bit different in the sense of he recycles possession, not to an extent Nolan does, but he is a bit more visible than Judge. Whereas Nolan is your ultimate ball recycler. Like away from home at Sunderland, maybe you want Nolo available just because you're not going to lose the ball with John Nolan. Tuesday, I'd like to see us stick with the 4-3, and that's me. And I'm not a Nolan fan, Ben, as you know, and as Peter, as you all
never
know.
mentioned it.
No, I really do. I'd stick with the same formation. I'd just bring off Hawkins, bring off Judge, and I'd bring on Jackson. And I want to see Dobra. I mean, it'd be exciting. I mean, otherwise, eventually you're going to start getting this storyline of Stuart Taylor played Dobra. Would Paul Lambert have put Dobra on Tuesday night? We don't know. We don't know anything at the moment. All we do know is when Lambert's on the touchline, Dobra doesn't appear to be, unless it's a cup game. So we want to start seeing Dobra involved in the 18-man because he is the future. Alan Judge is not the future. Short term, maybe. Long term, definitely not. So we want to start seeing, Armando Dobra, even on the bench, just getting experience of being around a match day squad, etc. But yeah, we've got to be brave. Sunderland will want to play us. That's the difference. As like Crewe today, really, they'll fancy their chances. It won't be a way we'll sit in, you try and break us down. They'll think we're the bigger team. That's a debate in itself.
Today, Sunderland? What was their result?
They won.
3-0 won at Gillingham, didn't
2-0.
Yeah, they won at Gillingham. And
Martin, you see in the comments there, Rich put no ball winners in that midfield, Rob. Which actually I agree with, to be honest. But do we have a ball winner in this?
Well, yeah, we do. Behave. That's a joke.
I think the only one we've got is Downs. Really.
It is, yeah.
Any other ball winners? So I know what he's saying, and he is right, but I don't see another ball winning option.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, we're done. We're dusted. I'm sure we've all got Halloween parties to get to. Rob's wearing his costume already. But that was funnier than your best man speech.
Where's your NFL shirt this time? Has Sophie put it in the wash, or first time in a while, I guess?
Well, we lost, so yeah, you change it up. You know what I mean? So I wore this Tuesday. We'll be back Tuesday. Match day ticket live from 6:30 with myself. I think it's Neil and Matt, or Steve and Matt, or Steve and Neil. Somebody's on the show with me. But yeah, we're done. We're dusted. Town have won. We're second place. See you tomorrow, 1:30 for Talking Town. And appreciate all that have commented in. We love, we care. See you soon. Adios.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, yes.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers.